Something's moving. Just hope it's not gonna snap. Okay. Oh, I'm so smart. I am the smartest man in the room right now. BMW, sometimes BMW is like, yeah, we'll engineer that properly. And other times they're just like, what a waste of time. I ain't wasting no more time. Time. Now then, chaps, welcome to another video. We're going to be continuing work on the E61 today. We're going to be focusing on the rear suspension. Hopefully this will be the last entrant in this little series. If you've not been following, we've been doing some repair work to my 5 Series, just trying to prepare it for the next MOT and for another years of motoring. We've already replaced most of the front suspension. We found some dodgy brake lines and we found a lot of oil leaks, but we're not going to worry about the oil leaks just yet. In this video, we're going to be replacing these inner trailing arm bushers, which I've been advised on my MOT the past couple of years. We've got some new rear shocks as well. They're not the OEM brand. I actually asked the Darkside Development Workshop to get me the cheapest branded shocks they could get. And these are the ones they came up with. Napa, which is a brand you might recognize. I raced under in the Enduro car. Actually won the Enduro car Indy 500 at Brands Hatch under the Napa brand, which was, yeah, so I got a bit of affiliation to the brand a little bit. But no, these were £50 a piece, whereas the OEM shocks are about 3-4 times that. The car, I paid £2,000 for it 4 years ago. I'm now heading into my 5th year of motoring with this vehicle, and it's not cost me that much overall, but it's been a good steed. I've done a lot of miles in it, and we're just getting up to 200,000 miles on the odometer, and hopefully the car will be good for a few more yet. So we've got some new rear shocks, which are perhaps not the most premium brand, but we do have brand new OEM alignment bolts and Lemforder bushers for those trailing arms, which are about as good as you can get, really, the Lemforder bushers. So hopefully by the end of today, we'll be able to give the car a wheel alignment, all the jobs will be done, and it'll be drivable again. Yeah, looking forward to it. So let's get started. I think we'll start by trying to get those trailing arms off and get these bushers in. Okay, so we made a good effort before of getting the bolt out, and we've got another bolt here. We've got the link for the anti-roll bar. The shock's already off. The reason I'm replacing these shocks is the bush knackered, but also just weird, like kind of gets bound up for some reason. It won't compress. Maybe they're not meant to compress more than that, but it doesn't really extend either. It doesn't really feel like it's doing a lot of damping, right? So yeah, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of that going on. We've also got the link here for the ride height sensor, which does the airbags. This is broken on both sides, so it's cable tied on both sides. So we'll have to, yeah, we'll have to get a special tool to disconnect them, I think. What have we got? Yeah, I reckon that's the tool. When this broke, the ride height little ball joint thing, when it broke, I actually thought it was the damper that had gone, because the car was bouncing all the way up, and then it was bouncing all the way up the motorway, and it turns out it's just that little ball joint that died. So anyway, that's that. The rust's looking pretty good. Looks like it's just rusted over the top of that rust converter, really, doesn't it? Yeah, not good. We'll do something about that later as well, but let's concentrate on these bushers. So I think this might be a pain to get out. Well, it does have a hole, put some kind of instrument in there. Like a Torx, one of the Torx. Looks pretty haggard. No. Nope. If it wasn't an Allen head, it's about to become one. Oh, that's tight. That is tight. Okay. Maybe apply some heat before we wreck it, but we'll see if this will loosen it. Oh, it's tight. Right, let's apply some heat. Oh God, it's tight. Oh, fucking hell, that is tight. Guess we can go the other way and see if it'll nip up and free the threads off a little bit. I think it's starting to wear away the bit now. Ah, yes, the bit is definitely should be a Torx, but it's just all corroded away. So having the Allen bit in there won't help. What are you saying, T40? 40 weight, 50 weight? See, half the people who were just saying the music's too loud are now saying, we're only making plans for Nigel. Hopefully it's not the hernia. Oh. All right, don't use snap, because I am not interested in buying ball joints. I'm not interested in buying anti-roll bar links. I think we need some more heat. Once again, kind of falling at the first hurdle a little bit. Something's moving. Just hope it's not gonna snap. Okay. Something's moving. Just hope it's not gonna snap. Okay. Oh, we stopped the bit, so the drop link stays on. Maybe we'll just take the roll bar off with it, or the exhaust will get in the way. I mean, if you've seen the size of the roll bar, what is that actually doing anyway? Huh? Really? We're not using the bit anymore, because that's fucked. Oh, I can't believe it. It's always a T40. I break so many T40s. Let's try and think of a way to put more pressure down on it. So I'll try that. I mean, it's pretty seized in there. No. Just sprayed that way, and it fucking chucked some shit in my eye. As in, just the air dispersing around there caused some shit here to go in my eye. Nice, isn't it? There'll be some mechanics out there, hopefully, saying, oh, waste of time taking them out that bottom bit, pal. You always need to take them out the top bit and you'll be alright. Look at the state of those nuts that are fucked. I'm not feeling so confident about this. Wow. This is an unexpected problem. Right, so I watched some videos online, one of which from a chap who I think might be watching this video, because I think he does comment on my stuff sometimes, a guy called George. On his video, he takes this bolt out, just removes it, okay? So we're having a little bit more of a trouble with that, but I've had a look on Real OEM at these parts. So there's like a link bush here, there's like a bush there and a bush there, which this steel tube, or well, probably not steel, but this tube kind of sits through, and we've got a ball joint here. Now, I reckon we should try and focus on getting this nut somewhat undone. If we get the nut off, then we might be able to get the bolt out. It might be that the bolt is seized to some inner races of bushes, but I'm hoping that's not going to be true, because I'm hoping it's actually this tube here which goes into the bush, not the bolt. So I'm going to put some heat on this now, and I'm only going to use the impact because I don't want to snap this bolt. I think we can work, it'll be difficult, but I think we can probably drop the trailing arm enough to do the bushes in situ. It'll be more painful, but we'll do this, and if we can't get this bolt out, then we'll try and change the bushes in situ, right? So I'm going to warm that bush up, and then I'm just going to put a freshly charged battery in the impact. I mean, that's quite a lot of pressure we're putting through it. It's the nut that's stuck right at the minute, because we're only trying to undo the nut. Could really do with a bigger head, or just a larger breaker bar. I don't feel good about this. So the problem I'm going to have, unless I can get this arm to drop all the way down, is I need to put a cup on the back of here to receive the old bush, or to drive out the old bush, either or. I was really hoping I'd be able to get a little bit of movement on that, but I should have ordered a bigger breaker bar really. Nah. Okay. Let's see just how difficult this is going to be to try and do this in situ. It means that we have to try and get the anti-roll bar drop link off still. Maybe it'd be easy just to undo these two. I think it will be, won't it? Because they're not, yeah, they're pressed in, so that's the easy option. You're taking the piss. You're taking the piss, man. They're not pressed in, they're nuts and bolts. What? BMW, sometimes BMW's like, yeah, we'll engineer that properly. And other times they're just like, couldn't be arsed, mate, sorry. Okay, which it does. So we're pressing into aluminium, which, if you've been on this channel a little while, should set off the danger alarm bells. Certainly when we worked on the E46. The easiest way to do this, if the bushes were like completely knackered, would be to kind of drill it out and then cut it, but they're not actually that bad. This one looks knackered. I reckon it's just looks a lot worse than what it is. You never know without any weight on it, I guess, but hey, it's yesterday once more. It is, I know. That's what I was thinking. Oh, so one's significantly, but the design's weird on them both. They've got these slits in them. Is that to compress when it goes in? It's in there. It's lined up, so we'll try again. This is going to be the final attempt before we start butchering. That's tight, man. That's real tight. It's square at least. It doesn't look like it's bending, so it's metal to metal still. That's a lot of pressure, man. So this cylinder now is on square to the outer race of the bush. It's not interfering with the arm. So I could just keep going a little bit more and a little bit more, but I don't think we're going to snap the arm, but we might do. It's a lot of pressure. Yeah, no movement. Okay, looks like we're getting, we're gonna have to get a bit barbaric. Traditional for the channel, I guess, but we tried to do it nice. So far I've failed at every hurdle. We couldn't get the drop link off. We couldn't get the wishbone off. We couldn't get the bolt out. And we couldn't get the bush out using the proper methods. So that's 3 attempts and 3 failures. So now we're gonna do the classic, drill some rubber out, knock the center out, and then cut the race off. And I don't have any hacksaw blades, which means only one thing. Yeah, the GoPros aren't liking the cold so much. You know what's coming up next anyway, don't you? No, don't snap the drill bit straight away. Really burn them out. Where is the fuel tank? It's diesel anyway, isn't it? But if they were not so close to the car, we could maybe consider burning them out. But that's super annoying, man. That was a full set as well, mostly. Oh, let's go for the big one. Oh yeah, they make that rubber strong, you know. Strong rubber. Hands on the soles of a shoe. Ta-da-na. Da-da-da-da. Ooh. Anything for you, Mr. MOT man. Anything. So we've now got a few problems because we've got the outer race of the bush itself, but also the bush casing is there as well. Now ideally we'd hacksaw this out, but I don't think I've got a good blade. I got a little junior one there, but I don't think she's got much. I did have in my eBay basket for ages some blades. Of course, I do have the automatic hacksaw, the Sawzall, but I don't really like to use it that much because it's a bit of a savage. I have to be really careful. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to do this in 2 stages to be safest. Oh, that was pretty painful, you know. All right, I've not put the GoPros back on yet, but I've been going again at this front bush, trying to use the tool to start with, and all I ended up doing was driving out that center pin. And then this one's got so much more rubber. I mean, I never attempted to get rid of the rubber with a drill or anything, but you can see the problem here, right? So the problem I was having is this full arm is shaking because of the reciprocating saw, and you just got no kind of idea until you start seeing bits of aluminium fly about, and by that time it's too late. And it barely even kind of got through a little bit on this side, but yeah, I'd like it. I mean, I tried a few times, but I just failed to use the tool with various sockets and washers and all sorts of stuff, trying to pry out the outer race. You see aluminium, and then there's an outer race which I'm trying to force out, and it's a thin lip, but I was hoping, you know, with the structure of the bush might help it all come out, but no, unsuccessful. Okay, both bushes are out. I tried to do some different things on this one. I was adamant to try and get it out with the puller kit, and it ended up being a 3-stage process, ultimately ending in a reciprocating saw. So I was trying to drive the bush out, and I just kept either bending the tool or just making a mess. So I drove the center bit out first in the end, right? And then that allowed me to get the bigger bar in, the M16, which is 4 more than 12 and, you know, a bit stronger or whatever. And then I thought this was actually driving the full bush out. It was going really well, but in the end it just kind of took there's got like a metal case in rubber. It's weird, man. It's almost like the bushing is then cased again in another piece of aluminium, I guess. But anyway, that just left the actual outer race naked, and then I just had to, you know, reciprocate and saw it out. But that was a lot less messy than having to drill. There's no drill and no fire in any of this, so I'll continue with that. It's a bit of pissing about, but I got there. So we're going to try and get the new bushes in now, which should be easy, really, in theory, right? That should be the easy part, but let's find out. I'll get the cameras rigged up, and yeah, I was just looking at that side there thinking, shit. Still quite a lot left to do. How did I get here? I don't know, that'll do. It's pretty much all the way. Pretty much. Okay, so that one was pretty simple, really. I didn't use any special tool to compress it, it just kind of compressed itself. But this one's seems a lot bigger than the bore it's going into, but it's also got a lot more to compress, so do I have anything that can compress something evenly in a circle? I don't think I do. I've got the Half Moon bearing tools. Let's just get it snug, and then we'll maybe look at something like that. This isn't working. So the issue that I'm having here is the bush, for whatever reason, has this little compression fitting. And obviously if I'm just clamping it like that, I'm just squashing it really. So I need to figure out a way of clamping it or getting it in the hole. I'll maybe have a look online. Surely there'll be a 10-year-old, 15-year-old, 20-year-old forum post which will tell me how to do it. Maybe.
Polybush kit come.
Polybushers. No, no, no. Disappointed, Mr. George.
I'm going to.
Ah, the melee.
The,
this guy's got the melee bushes.
the housing there to facilitate,
and it doesn't have
getting
this
thing in there.
fucking
Also
compression
they've provided-
shite. So that's 66.50. So if we can get a 54.
Sometimes my genius is, it's almost frightening.
It's pushing one side in, but the other side's going inside. So now this, which has an external diameter of 50, the same as the hole it's going into. So 5 hours in, this is what we're currently working with. Less than ideal. I've never come across these bushes with needing compressing and fitting at the same time. What a load of wank. Funny story, eh? So that bush has not got a long life, that's for sure. My compression method was why didn't I stop to think what I was doing, or at least just have a little Google? Try and get rid of all them lights. So many lights. Why didn't I just stop and have a little Google? Because I've just found someone doing it on the X5. And what did they do? They used hose clamps to just compress it. Oh yeah, that's seems like a good idea, that, doesn't it? Okay. So the problem I've got now is where it's split, the bush has got stuck on the inside of the arm. So I could maybe try and press it back out and press it back in a bit cleaner, maybe from the other side. But either way, I'm making such a meal out of it. Maybe you're used to this. Maybe we should all be used to it. But I'm making such a meal out of this. If I'm driving this car home tonight, we need some luck. Hopefully this other side will be better, but I'm just gonna get going now. I'm gonna leave the cameras alone. I've burnt through 2 fully charged batteries. No. I'll give you a catch up in an hour or so, right? Hopefully things are a lot better. Who, me? You wouldn't try and refit that bush, would you? Lemforder. I ain't wasting no more time. Time did we get here? 9 hours on the job. I got these bushes out at least. There's no way to get this back. There's no way to get this back bush out cleanly. Not with the toolage I've got. I had a look and the yield strength of the hardware I'm using is 6.5 ton apparently. Right? So if you had like a fucking bigger press and you could get it off the car, then this one actually, what's happened to me voice? This one actually would have come off, but I started struggling again with the roll bar and I was like, whatever mate, you know, just trying to do a fucking good job here. But yeah, I'll get these bushes in and then yeah, looks like we're driving the Mini home, boys. Yeah, what has happened to me voice? Fucking hell, Quinn. Got the Quinn and Hazels on the front of the car. Got the fucking nappers. Got the fucking nappers on the back. Right, unfortunately, I've had a bit of a cold. It's gone now, but there's something going on in the throat. It's weird, isn't it? Unfortunately, progress has come to an end because I couldn't find any hose clamps, any decent ones, and I kept ruining the cheap ones. I managed to get one side done, but to compress the bush with a hose clamp seems to work pretty well, but you need a decent hose clamp. The cheap ones just shit the pants, so might be better getting something with like a bolt, you know, T-bolt is it they call it? Might be better getting something like that. So yeah, I'll get some clamps. We'll pick this up again next weekend though, but I'll continue this going. Yeah, I unfortunately can't come up tomorrow. I'm quite gutted that I'm not driving the car home. I've been up here a long time, man. I know I whinge about the time a lot. 7:37, so 10.5 hours. So I had a good go. I made a valiant effort, but yeah, got one side done. Imagine if I'd driven the car up here thinking, oh, I've just got to do those bushes on the trailing arm. Won't take long. I mean, there's been other things going on, but hopefully my voice will be back next weekend as well. I'll order some better hose clamps. I'm a bit concerned as well about this bolt that goes through here. I had a look at the torque spec and it was either 230 or 260 newton meters, and I had a go on it trying to tighten it up, but that side's loose. I ended up not taking it off in the end. That side's fine, but yeah, there's some more concerns to go on here. Do I just buy a bolt anyway? Do I just buy all the bushes anyway? Oh god, I don't really want to. I'm with the shocks, with the new bolts, I'm close to 500 quid now into these repairs. So, and obviously a lot of time. If you value my time, which I should perhaps a little bit more, but yeah, but a full day at it, unsuccessful. I'll pick this up next weekend, and hopefully that'll be the end of it. With a bit of luck. All right, a little midweek treat. These are apparently the boys. JCS, I think, high torque. There's still a worm drive, but apparently they're the boys. So let's find out. That looks pretty promising. Can't even see the gap. It's there. Yeah, that's what we wanted. The cheap ones just wouldn't do the grippings. They were shredding where the worm drive goes through. But yeah, these ones seem like they're good for the job. Made in Sheffield as well, I believe. Something like that. Made in England. You don't see that often. Okay, I'm going to try and install these now. I really want to drive this car home. I'm going to come back up on Saturday and hopefully drive the car home. Yeah. It's working. It works. Someone on the Discord said apparently this needs lining up to something. Now, because this is not a BMW fix, BMW wants to change the arms. None of the original BMW manuals cover this operation at all, and I can't find any indication where that slit should be. So I tried to line it up with this kind of join, this weld, which I don't know if that makes any sense engineering wise. All I wanted to make sure is that it was away from this kind of inside of the casting, which gave us issues on the other side. Maybe it would make sense for it to be at 12 or 6 o'clock maybe, but it shouldn't matter really, because it's going to be compressed anyway when it's in there, right? The bush is not like sided or anything that I could see, but hey, hopefully it'll be all right. How are you doing, mate? You all right there? Oh, lovely. Oh, that's a nice one. Lovely stuff. All right, we got the front bush done, but this rear one, wow, look at it. Can you see it peeling away the metal as I press in? I'm gonna have to say, I don't think Lemford is the one for this at all. Apparently the male MEYLE ones come, for one, they come pre-squished, so you don't have to buy hose clamps, but these seem like they're not ideal. I mean, you could maybe say there's a little bit of compression left to do there, friend, but why is it not doing it? And I did clean them out, you know, I did clean the bores out, so what's going on? I couldn't do it with my hand, and I kind of threw in the towel and just got the Ugga Duggers out, which is a bit cringe, but I mean, the threaded bar that's in there now is not longed anyway. If it can do this, then it'll retire a hero, but Yeah, this is super tight now. It's yeah, it's not pretty, man. Like, I'm wincing a bit, but just going like little by little, but fuck, man. Fingers crossed I can get it. I just need a little bit more, a little half an inch more maybe, please. Well, she snapped all right. Right at the fucking end, man. Look at that. Fuck. I wonder if it was catching on this. Right at the end. Come on. Yeah. Alright, I need your opinion, please. So as you can see, the bush, I got it in a little bit more, but there's still, I don't know, no more than a blonde one, you could say. And I got some more threaded bar, a fresh unit, and started trying to get it back in, but all it's done is kind of bent the outer shell now. Can you see that? It's like nice and, you can see a few millimeters there, right? Nice and clear. But you come down here, can you see how it's just kind of bent it and warped it? Can you see that? It's now pressing into it, you know, it's not pressing the bush in, it's kind of deforming the outer case now. I don't want to go. Weird, right? I'll give it one more try with a different size, but I think we're about done. That'll do, right? Come on. She's done enough. Right. Nice little evening, few jobs there. What's happened now? So all of those lovely new bushes that we've installed need tightening, torquing up at ride height. And this is where being a advanced race car man comes into play, because I've got these little, obviously I've got the tables, but also these little stands, the wheel stands, which allow me to still not only get under the car, but also still be able to work on it. And yeah, the car's not quite at ride height yet. I put it on the locks on the ramp. It still needs to go down another few inches, but I'll come back either Saturday or Sunday, probably Sunday, because I am trying my bag out, trying to get a video sorted for this weekend. This week, it's the 1st of February today, and I've spent literally all of my free time doing things for the taxman from my YouTube business, yeah, and I've been hustling, and yeah, I've been on with that flat out. I've not had a chance to edit any videos basically all of January, and the channel's on its ass, really. Big up the Patreons for keeping it going, but yeah, I'll probably spend some time Saturday trying to get a video ready for Sunday, and then I will see you back here on Sunday. On Sunday. Now then, welcome to what should hopefully be the final part. I know we're midway through a video, but this should be the last part. It's actually Saturday. I got that video finished last night, uploaded. Janetta, yeah, timeline. I know you like the timeline. My voice is nearly there. It's coming back. Still a bit rough, but all we've got to do on the E61 is tighten up everything, tighten up all those bushes. I've been on the BMW manuals this morning, and I've made the list of all the tightening torques that we need. I did see some slightly concerning advice, or it's not really advice, it's BMW are suggesting that quite a lot of these bolts and nuts should be replaced. We don't have any replacement. I do have some replacement nuts, some M12 nuts I actually bought for the E46 that we can probably use there, but I don't have, for example, the most scary one is the front tension struts, the suspension arms that go to the front, the arms that kind of caused all of this little mini refurbishment because of all the pain associated with getting the strut out and everything. Those front arms, they require 100 Newton meters and 90 degrees. So ideally what I should have done whilst the bolts were off the car, and maybe we can still do that now, is to run a nut down there and see if the bolt is actually stretched or not. If we can run a nut down the bolt and the nut runs down fine, then we can safely assume that the bolt is not actually stretched. But given that it is an angle after the torque setting, we really should have replaced that bolt. So we're going to have to do the old feel it out and see what it feels like, I think, on this. I didn't replace them last time I did this, so this would be, in theory, the third time that those bolts have been stretched, if they have been stretched. So that's a little bit concerning. We're not going to let it stop us, because I want to so badly drive this car again, believe it or not. Missing it a lot. We've got the new shock absorbers to fit as well on the rear. And yeah, that's about it. We're going to start by doing all the suspension bolts. So I'm going to start, we're going to tighten all them up. We're going to try and do something about the rust, probably just paint some hammerite or something like that. If I can find something, just, I put some more rust converter on it before leaving on Thursday night, and I'm hoping it looks a bit better. But let's get started. Tightening torques, we'll start on the rear. There is one thing I need to do first though. What is that? Well, got a bit of science to do, right? Got a bit of science to do. Oh man, state of the workbench. We'll have a good tidy. We're going to put all the under trays back on and stuff as well, and we will have a good tidy up. Right, so this is my trusty 1/2 inch torque wrench. Torque wrench, that's the right word, isn't it? Yeah. This is a Teng Tools. I bought it a few years ago. It's a present, and you know I've got a 3/8 one as well. And you know they're not the most expensive brand in the world, but they're half decent. It might be one of them that's all China or I don't know. You tell me if you think this brand's decent. I think I quite like it. But the problem is, someone up here who shall remain nameless borrowed it, and for some reason the arse fell out of it, right? This all fell apart whilst they were using it. And I put it back together, and since then realised that the torque settings from this are nowhere near what they should be. Let me show you. So I've set this to 70 newtons, yeah? So I'll just put it in the vise quickly. So 70, right? We heard it click, right? So let me take one of my other torque wrenches. This is the other Teng one. This is a 3/8. So if I put this down to 70, how am I going to be able to put the same torque on them? I'm not sure how actually I'm going to test this. How am I going to test this? I tell you what we need a rig. Hang on. I'll do some science. Wait there. We need a rig. Right, where can I find it? Rig. Okay. There's a bit of maths been involved, which, you know me. What we need to do, right? This is going to be an equation. So we're going to calibrate the torque wrenches, right? So I've had to think of a distance. These are all Newton meters. We can use pound feet, but they're all Newton meters, a lot easier to read. So we'll use the Einstein metric, right? Metric. The absolute maximum I can measure on here is 32 centimeters, 320 mil, right? So I've worked from that, and I've put that needs adjusting a little bit now, but yeah, we've put a marker on there to the same of the maximum on here. I've got another torque wrench here, which is pretty much brand new in box, right? This is a TUV approved, right, one. It's a cheap one, but we'll use this one as well to get an idea of what's going on. But how are we going to calibrate them? So we set a distance. We know how torque wrenches work, right? It's measuring the force, right? Measuring the force, yeah? And we calibrate them using a little bit of maths, right? I've had to look into this, obviously, to recalibrate this. I'm not going to pretend like I knew what it was before, but the equation, because we're doing Newton meters, we're going to take the weight, the force downwards, you times it by 9.81, and then divide it by the length of where you're applying the weight, where you're applying the force, right? Which in our case is going to be 32 centimeters. Now the lowest this big lad can do is 70 Newton meters. So I've worked backwards from that and figured out that we need 22.3, or just shy of, but basically 22.3 kilograms of force to accurately set these all to 70 Newton meters, right? Hopefully we don't have to adjust anything but the big lad. but we'll find out. So how have I done that? Well, if you just look down here. So I've got some ballast plates for the racing cars, and I've cable tied them together. And these weigh 21.4, I believe. 21.4 dead on, right? So that gives us 900 grams to find. 22.3 is what we need, right? So the easiest way to do that is with fluids, right? So this currently weighs 0.75, so we need to add 150 grams to this. And I've got another bottle of stuff here. Oh, if we had some scales, we could do this super accurate, but let's not worry too much about it. So I'm going to add roughly 150 mil, right? Oh, first attempt, 0.9. Obviously this is not going to be, we should do some averages really, but we'll be fine. First attempt, I think we can stick with that. So now if I add this lucky bottle to the weight, to the mass, so this should now be 22.3, right? If the math is correct. $22.36. Okay, it's a little bit over. But let's take that number, 22.36, right? So 22.36 times 9.81 times 0.32, 70.1 or 70.2. So we're a little bit over, but we'll give a little bit of margin for perhaps those Amazon cheap luggage scales not being 100% accurate. But yeah, so what we're going to do now is apply that force at 32 at the set distance. This is exciting, isn't it? Tell me you're not excited. Let's first do it on the brand new China one. Well, I guess they're all China, but let's do it firstly on this one. So I'm going to set it to 70. Let's set to 70. We're going to measure from the center point of the anvil, 3, 2. Oh, it's pretty much bang on. It's pretty much, is it just under? It's pretty much bang on where it wants to be. So we'll just use this for a quick test. I don't think I'm going to adjust this one, but we'll see. Well, why are you doing a test if you're not going to fucking do it then? So this should just click once I release all the pressure, right? Oh, and it's clicked. I didn't quite release it all though, I don't think. All right, let's wind it on a little bit. So it's set to 80 now, so it shouldn't click, right? Okay, so it's on 80 with the weight set and it's not clicking. I can probably put a little bit of force on it. Yeah. Let's turn Dolores down a sec so you can hear the clicking. So if I take that back, let's take that off for now. Ooh. So this is now set to 73, so it still shouldn't click, right? But it'll be there or thereabouts. Let's try and put it on very gently. And it hasn't clicked at 73. So let's go back to 70. Is anyone else loving this? So it should click now, remember? We've only gone down 3 Newton meters on the scale. I think there's like a torsion beam or something inside. I didn't look that far into it. Listen for the click. So this one, after all, that tube approval is carrying some weight. So we've got our datum, if that's what it's called. Let's next do the 3/8. Oh, it couldn't have been so precise. Literally just let go of the weight at the final mount and it went. I know that's what it should do, but I didn't think it'd be this accurate. So 73 now, and it shouldn't click now. Let's find out. Wow. calibrated. That's good, right? So we just went from 70 and it clicked, up to 73, hasn't clicked. The maths is checking out, the torque wrenches are calibrated, maybe. But the big problem, or the reason we're doing all of this, is because this one is out. This one is out of sync. So, okay, so this is set to 70 as well. And what we'll see is it's going to click way before I've let the weight go. So it was under reading, and I actually put my wheels on when I had the Apex wheels on this car. I put them on with this torque wrench, not realizing. And yeah, scary, man. But let's calibrate it. So I'll put this weight on. I'm still holding so much of the weight. Let's, out of interest, let's see what it thinks is 70 kilos. If I wind at 70 Newton meters, if I wind this up now to, that's 100. Wow. Okay. So somewhere between 120 and 125 on this scale, which I actually torqued the wheels up on this to 120 Newton meters, is actually less than 70. We don't know how much less, but less than 70. So let's fix it. Right, I think we've been scuppered. After all this science. So there was a little bung here to cover up where the adjustment screw is, I think. Anyway, that's definitely just fallen inside, but why would it fall inside? I'm wondering if when this actually come apart, I'm wondering if something's fallen out of it. So let's take it back apart again. I think I just need to unscrew that. It's a big lad, but I'm gonna unscrew that and have a look inside, and hopefully I can find the adjustment stuff in here somewhere. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, it was months ago that this broke. I know what he was doing. He was working on his trailer, so we can maybe, well, it's a tiny little screw that we'd be looking for. I don't think we've got a prayer, but let's undo this and see what we can see inside. I've just been looking for, trying to find some instruction manuals specific to the Teng to see what this is all about. And I found a lady's channel, a very similar size to mine, doing motorbikes, and she was fully sponsored by Teng. But she was also a lady, so, you know. I'll take Knipex though. I'll even start saying Knipex if you want. Okay. So I think, if I remember rightly, it's just unscrews. So hopefully this is not dead. That would be sad, because it's a beast, and it's the only one big enough to actually do what we need to do. We've got some 260 Newton meters to measure today. What does this do then? Does this just set the scale? What does this? There's this thread lock here, look. Yeah, so that threads into that. So what does this set? Alright, let's put it back on. Let's not. This must. Oh, it's such a fine thread, be careful. So based on my nervous Googling, it seems like we want to go anti-clockwise to get to where we want to be. So I'm going to do quite a big turn. That's about 120 degrees. So let's see where that puts us. Not enough. I wonder if this is just like not in the right position. Keep going. She's not far off. I'm just a bit concerned about how much. Is it a grub screw or what? How much is actually left in this? You know, it's getting a bit loose now, you know. It's very loose now. I think it's just a grub screw. It must be. I don't want to undo it because I'm fucked. Like this thing here is numbered, right? Not to, well, you know, it's got a full rotation, so it can't be that far out, can it? And obviously this thing hasn't adjusted, this thing hasn't been touched, so the only thing that's moved is in here. So could that be like a full rotation out? I don't want to keep adjusting this because it's getting super loose. Like, it's not far off. It's tempting to just keep going. Just how far can you go with this though? I think we've reached the maximum, I think. Let's try and put some back in to see if it'll thread back. It'll thread back. So the adjustment must be needing to happen up here, I don't know. Weird. Oh, I'm so smart. I am the smartest man in the room right now. What a waste of time. Because this was the only thing that broke before. And then it's loose as fuck now. This is what popped off. So how, this must change something. It's not just a lock nut for the collar, is it? Yeah, I guess it can't, can it? Fuck, what a waste of time. Yeah, this doesn't affect the scale. Thought we had something then. So I guess we just do have to keep unscrewing that and hope for the best, really. So one of the issues I had when I first put it back together was this wouldn't go all the way up. Yeah, it gets tight at the top. It goes there. Well, I guess we just keep unscrewing. It feels like it's going to break the tool, but it's pretty useless as it is at the minute. I mean, that's 85, so it's quite a bit more than what it was. Obviously, it's holding it. If we can get to a stage where we can say, oh, well, it reads 10 under, or whatever, then that'll be better than, you know, it's useless. So that's 80. It's taking 80. 75. It's taking 75, so it's within 5 Newton meters. That's 72 and it's not clicked. But 70 it clicked. 72 again. I'd like to try and get this screw in a little bit more if we can, because it feels like it's gonna pop it. I'll give it a 120 degrees, see if it still clicks. I feel like this is just maximum off now, you know. But it's holding, so holding within 2. So that's on 70 now. Okay, I just felt like it get stiff now, so I think we're actually adjusting something now. Still out of spec though. Should I say still not adjusting the actual... We're still set to 72. That just snapped the end off. So 70, click, 71, click. 72, no click. +2, +2, right? Everyone knows now, right? 72, no click. Put the lightest pressure on, click. 71, click. Right, we'll get it within 2. Alright, just before we get started doing the tightening torques, I've removed these front 2 bolts, the concerning ones, right? So remember, the torque spec for these is 100 Newton meters plus an angle, so they're stretch bolts, right? And also, these nuts should be self-locking nuts, okay? So, I don't think this one's doing a lot of self-locking. This one seems okay. But importantly for us, the thread is fine. Certainly on this one. Let's just check the next one. So that is no longer a locking nut. Go over there. This one is locking. I can't turn it further. Once at the top of the nut, there's the little locking part, and that is definitely doing the locking, because I can't turn it any further now by hand. Now, is the reason I can't turn it anymore by hand because it's a locking nut, or is it because the thread's stretched on this other bolt? So let's, oh, we should have kept the one. Where did that go? So this is the one which we know doesn't lock anymore. So if this will run down the threads just fine, then we know it's all right, yeah? Little test. And yeah, it's running down just fine. So we know that's fine to use. So all we need is a new nut. So it's a good job we checked, because that nut is shite. So this is what a new nut should look like. Oh, I'm getting steamy. Okay. So that's doing the same as this one now. So these are both still locking nuts, right? I mean, this is maybe... All right, maybe we'll just replace them both. Unless I've just thrown away the wrong one, right? No, let's not stress. I've got new ones. Let's use them. I did buy them for the E46, but we'll just buy some more, shall we? You can wait, can't you? I think these are only about £1 each anyway. £1 each for a nut, yeah, that is actually quite expensive when you think about it, isn't it? But maybe we can try and find some similar. What would you call this nut, experts? So it's a zinc plated nut, but it's slightly oval at the top, right? Can you see that? Can you see the oval? Cool. So I've already replaced some of the other arms as well. When I was putting it together, I noticed this, but that gives me confidence now that we can torque these properly. So finally, let's get on with the torquing. Less talking, more talking. Yeah, this is nasty, man, but I'm a little bit concerned about this brake fitting as well. We'll bleed the brakes before we put this back on, I think, because that looks a little bit wet. It might just be residue from before, but I'm gonna do the nasty now. I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. It might help it not rust more. I don't know, man. All right, just a little catch up on the proceedings so far on what will still hopefully be the last day and I'll be driving this car out, right? So either the calibration of the torque wrench is not 100%. Someone who's engineer, this is your time to rise up, could it sometimes be right and sometimes not if something internal is, it's just a spring, right? And surely if it's, in my head, it either works or it doesn't. But in practice just then, so it's either the calibration wasn't right on the torque wrench, or that torque to yield bolt can't be used 3 times. It could be either or, couldn't it? But the front's tight now. I'm gonna slap some Hammerite on that rust. Just, I'm not gonna cut it out and re-weld it, am I? It might last another couple of years, right, before it's completely rotten. And that'll be all right, that'll be fine, yeah? So I'll go do that. I'm gonna work my way back and then we'll tighten the rear up and then we'll do some alignings. Yeah. Just doing the bleeding. Got the eBay special bleeder on the go again. Very nearly had a bad time there. These nipples, man. And that should be enough. But these nipples, I think these alloys, I think these calipers are alloy as well, and the bleed nipples, man. Our mate had to help me on this side, and I had to get the impact on it just to, you know, make sure I'm twisting it in the right direction. But fuck, man, I thought, oh, it's so close to snapping. We're not going to take the piss tighter than me either, fuck. Come on. I think that's probably enough fluid. Jesus. More than what I thought it was going to be. Man, this car is aging me. I mean, I've not had an haircut for a while, but that was a stressful few minutes. Car wouldn't start. Attempts to resuscitate. The car failed. Car is now on charge. Battery's now on charge. There is some weird, I mean, it's an E61, it's going to have weird electrical things going on, and there is a bit of a battery drain, but I didn't think it was that bad. But anyway, the reason I wanted to start it was to allow the air suspension with the ride height level sensors on to say, oh yeah, I'm level, mate, because I don't think the bags leak, but it's been parked up now, it's not been used, it's not been started for a month. So if there was a tiny little leak, and I'm going to be tightening these bushes at the ride height level, then it's slightly less than ideal, that, isn't it? Right, I just called the champion because he's got a jump starter in that van. There's nothing really else I can do. Well, I could put the under trays back on. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe we'll put the under trays back on. He's about 20 minutes out. He's going to drive past anyway, so we'll get his jump starter out and we will jump start it, because it would be a shame to not have the car at ride height and do them bushes, you know. Let's put the under trays back on. Right, unfortunately I'm having a bad time getting the under trays on. Who'd have thunk it, right? But the champion's just been up and he's dropped off this Noco boost pack. So we're gonna give it a whirl, and fingers crossed this will start the vehicle and we can go back to doing what we were gonna do, well, what I was gonna do, tighten the suspension. Yeah. Is that gonna give me enough purchase? Let's go up here. I can't remember how they work. I think the ignition needs to be on, does it? Maybe? Press the exclamation mark. It's just ticking. What does that mean? Press and hold the exclamation mark. Why is it just ticking? Oh, why aren't you boosting? Come on, boost! It's just ticking a lot. I don't know. That doesn't sound right. Oh, I'll press the button. Oh, I'll press the button. I will. I'll press the button. Huh. So we can do the suspension now. All right, I'll do it. I'll take the thing off. You've seen me do suspension now, man. All right, the next problem is this anti-roll bar drop link that goes through the trailing arm. 100 Newton meters, they say. I've just been trying to stress the roll bar out a little bit by having the car kind of slant on one side, a little bit sketchy, but it's not worked anyway. I mean, this roll bar is so thin. It's just not doing it. I just can't get it, man. I just can't get it to nip up, so don't know what to do now. Pain in the ass thing. But now to try and maybe get Jackie and maybe lift the car up and jack up on that and try and stress it a little bit, just to try and hold the thread tight enough so I can nip it up. But I mean, it's not loose. It's not. I don't think it's gonna knock, so I might just leave it. But ooh, these are some. I need some of these plastic clips like these. for that under tray. I haven't got any of them. I need them badly. I might have to steal some. Hey, the car's on the floor. That can only mean one thing. Well, it doesn't mean that thing. I've admitted to myself that this is not going to get done today. So I'll just come back tomorrow. I wanted to spend tomorrow doing other stuff, but I mean, how else to spend the weekend, right? How else to spend the weekend? You tell me. Good discovery in the back of here. Some of those plastic nuts that I need for the under tray. Thank you, I'll be taking them. This side never had a battery cover. Discovered that today as well. I've just been watching a video on how to get the struts out. I got quite far with the car in the air, but it was starting to, you know, I was starting to weeble wobble a bit on the old step ladder. So yeah, I still need to do the struts, but what time's now? 6:36. I've been here so long again, man. And yeah, it's not done. There's no way I'm gonna be able to do all what I need to do tonight and you know, tidy up and everything. There's no way. I'm not staying here till midnight. I'll come back tomorrow refreshed, full of beans, and we'll carry on, yeah? What's another day on the E61 when you've had seemingly all free time of the past month? What's another day? Oh, I forgot to do the clicky thing from when we came back, didn't I? Oh, well, that's gone now. It's dead. It's done. Tomorrow. The final day. The final day. We're going to start with the rear shocks. I've just posted the Janetta video online this morning on the YouTubes. A day driving race cars at a private test track. No one else there, just me, Ryan, professional driver, some race cars. Good day. The reality of my life lately of spending so many days, the duality they call it, that's what they call it. More like the reality. Shocks. So we're going to finish the car today and we're going to have a fucking right tidy up. I saw a little mouse this morning, a wee mouse in my house running along there, and he thought that tyres looks nice. I wonder where the nest is. As long as it's not in the cars. Anyway. So I started on this last night and then it turned out to be a bigger task than what I was hoping for. I think we need to take this out. Appreciate your vision might not be the best here, chaps, but I mean, what even is that? What's under there? I guess we're about to find out. No? Did you just come out? Okay, ooh, presents. Ooh, fuses. Someone put the work in. What's that? The rusty, that looks like a battery stay. That looks like a battery stay. It's not anymore anyway, is it? The duality, the reality. Someone was doing something back here. I've not been in here before, I don't think. I owned the car 4 years. There's another little screw in there. I'm guessing that wants to come out. That looks like an 8mm. Do I have that on hand? No. Or no? DOS. Yeah, these are beyond fucked. Wow. These are more fucked than the fronts. Hey. Shock's done. Coffee time. And if you didn't think I was taking this seriously, yeah. Look at this, the floor, we're halfway down the car now, we're just at the front, and the floor is a full inch lower. But We're all good. Concrete. What do we think to the ride height? It looks pretty low to me. I've just raised the car up and down a few times with the ignition on, and the airbag did some things, but I don't know, it looks kind of low on the back. Maybe I'll just double check the links. It's almost time for the stringer line. All right, it's time for the good part. It's time for the good part. But there's one thing to do first. Well, I'll get you about eye level, right? We need to get that string. We're doing the string alignment because the string is the best, right? We don't fuck with lasers. Well, actually, to be fair, I've just done it with lasers and it's fine. But we'll double check it with string now, yeah? So yeah, let's set these lasers up. So we want that going through the center of the wheel, right? Which is what, about there, isn't it? So we need to measure, right? We need to measure the distance for the middle of the wheel, but there's something missing. Oh dear. What's missing from here? Huh? Only the best. Right. In the after... We're going to tidy up later, don't we? Oh. C'est bon. Hang on. C'est bon. There is a wheel nut missing as well, but we'll find that hopefully soon. C'est bon. Yeah? Chill out, the SOS band. Right, I think we might have some toe problems. So maybe just address them first. I'll wind both the tie rods in a little bit. Otherwise, our base measurement's going to be all over the shop. I wonder if I can show you what the toe does. That'll be cool, won't it? How's your view? Oh. That looks better, doesn't it? Okay, this ride height is causing me some concern. And I've just spoken to, we've got a new recruit in here lately, a BMW man. You'll recognise him, we'll get there. There's a nice V8, I'll not ruin which one, E46 over there. And he's got an X5 and he's had some ride height issues, right? But the advice that he's given, and you know, it's good to speak to people, isn't it? Because I can sit there stressing and Googling, but you speak to someone and yeah, you can get another perspective on the matter. So the plan for now is, right, I'm gonna have a look. BMW actually having their manuals, which I have somewhere in my phone, the actual ride height, what it should be, right? So we'll check that. It's definitely too low at the back, we know that for sure. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 2 alignments. Yes, double alignments. So we'll set it up somewhere near now and we'll take it for a drive, just roundabout, let the suspension do the thing, and hopefully then it levels itself out and brings itself up. But can you tell how much rear camber is currently on that wheel? So something's not right, yeah? Something's not right. And unfortunately, the camber adjuster is one of the arms that I haven't changed. Of course, why would it be, you know? The only one that I haven't really changed. I'm not too arsed about setting camber because it's not going to be a million miles out, and as we all know on this channel, it's toe that wrecks tyres anyway, so we don't really care that much about camber. I do need to tighten up the top mounts though, while I remember. I'll do that. But yeah, I'm going to align it somewhere near now, tighten all the bushes, make sure everything's tight, then we'll drop it down, go for a little drive, bring it back, and check it again. Yes. Long cut. So if we crank it around, it's going to push the arm that way. It's going to pull the lower of the arm in and push the top out, maybe? Oh, let's try it. Oh no, it's definitely higher on the front. Oh, should really fix this as well. That broke off. Episode 1. that go on? That's broke. Perfect. So, let's measure the ride height. Let's do from the bottom of the wheel to there is 425. 425. $400. Huh. So it's already immediately an inch lower on this side. 425, 400. I don't really want to go outside because it's been raining. I don't want to work on the car again all wet. I know, diva. But we'll try and get it out of here. And then just drive it up and down here and see if that does it. See if it starts first. It's been on charge all night. Oh, airbags just kicked straight in. Yeah, I can see that rear left going higher. Okay. Brake pedal feels not too bad. Oh, still thinks the brake pads have worn. Let's see if that brake pad fixes works. That'd be nice. Parking sensors definitely aren't working, but I don't think they worked before. Definitely a knocking noise from somewhere. Right, let's measure the ride height now. It's just jacked itself up, but I can see it's low. I've got the factory measurements somewhere as well on my phone. So it should be 603 from the bottom of the wheel lip. Which it's 595 or 593. So it's about 10 mil out factory. This side's about 6 mil out. Alright, we're gonna have to go out. We're gonna have to go outside. There's a knock-in on the front. Right, so I've done a little bit of driving. It seems like I've got a knocking on the front, a faint one. We'll see if the ride height's changed. I've not heard the compressor kick in though, so it might just be to do with, obviously the ride height level sensors aren't perfect, so it might just be to do with where they're positioned. Maybe they're positioned slightly different. I did check it, but you know, if the car's happy with where it is, then I guess I've got to be. $603. What was the thing? 603. What? What? 597. Well, there's 6 mil in it, but I mean this side is now perfect apparently, which is good. And the floor's not even here anyway, which could be affecting the ride height, so I think we just send it now. It's close enough. The factory spec is 603 on a 17 rim. Right. Sound. I'm going to do the tyre pressures and we'll give it one more alignment, then we're good. Tidy up, maybe give the interior a little hoover, maybe not, we'll see. Well, I've just completed a little test drive I'd say successful, mostly successful. A little bit of a ticking noise on the front. I expected the back to knock if anything, but there's something, it sounds metally. The only thing that I've not torqued properly is the strut top mount. You know, the bolt that goes through the top mount. I've not torqued that properly, I just did it with the gun. So I might try and do that, maybe that'll fix it, we'll see. Again, I don't really have the right tools for the job there, so I can try and perhaps turn the piston rod thing. Should be fine, right? I'll just and try and hold this span. The only thing is that because they're in the car, it's quite deep, so we'll have a go. Maybe just nut gun a few times, give it a few ugger-duggers, see if that helps it. But yeah, now it's time to just check the alignment. The ride height still looks to the eyes, to the all-seeing eyes, it looks low, but it measures on one side bang on what BMW say, on the other side it's about 6 mil out. But you know, the floor's not even. I've just done the tyre pressures as well, and they were all over the shop really. I filled them with wind when I fitted these tyres and not checked them since, but tyre pressures are all set now. So we're going to lift the car back up. I'm going to try and see if I can figure out maybe where this knocking noise is on the front. It's only faint, just a little something. Just a little something somewhere. It's not like a big one, so what could it be? I'll have a look. And then, yeah, just set the alignment. Happy days. Hopefully not have to touch those alignment bolts. It looks all right now, the rear camber. It's definitely got a bit of rear camber, but I think they do. I'll tell you what I might do for a change. I'll look at the factory spec for this and we'll work from that. Oh, so I found the factory spec for the rear camber and the front camber. The front's like 1/4 of a degree, but with like 1/2 degree tolerance, so that's fine. But the rear is 2 degrees. Again, with some tolerance in it, but if we get 2 degrees, then we're happy. 1.9, I'll take 1.9. 2 dead on? Are you serious? All right, if you say so. So 1.9 and 2. That is well within tolerance. Thank you. Excellent, some good news. That's near enough. Near enough is not something you can really say measure in millimeters, but it can when you're measuring with actual string with fibers all over the shop. It's close enough, it's within like 1/4 of a mil. I'm just going dead straight, remember, I'm not trying to do anything fancy with the front. I think the torque spec for these crush washers is quite big though. Only slightly less. Oh yeah, look who it is. Alright, I'm nearly there with the car now. So the test drive was pretty successful, I'd say, all things considered. The only thing I've got, which I wasn't too happy about, was some kind of knocking noise from the front. So I'm gonna have a quick tug on the wheels now, see if we can feel anything. Oh. Like I said, the only thing that I didn't torque properly, which is now annoying, is the strut fork that goes up. Oh man, just driving through water casually, everything's so dirty straight away. It's not moving. So I gave it a few tickles there on number 2 and then went to number 3, just a few little tickles and no movement. If I had eyes underneath, that'd be good. Can you have a look for me? I'm wondering if maybe they have a crush washer on the steering arm, and I don't know if I did it really tight. Let's see if we can get it a little bit tighter. Maybe it's just that. I think it's pretty tight. I can get it tighter, but it's tight. You know, it wasn't that. The car was rattling before anyway, but I thought everything that we changed would sort that. Can you hear that? Hello. It is the anti-roll bar drop link on this side. I think it's quite a reasonable torque spec. I've got it written down, 59. So maybe I slackened it off. Hopefully I just slackened it off. Hopefully it's not dead. But it's definitely that. It's the drop. It's the anti-roll bar drop link. Bastard. Could have got some of them easy. They're real long, so I don't have any. Can't rob them off anything. All right, no bother. At least we found out what it is. Right, it's the end. It's mostly tidy. Look, you're not going to win any awards here. We really need to have like a big tidy. Does anyone want to see that video? Want to see a video of me trying to make this all a nicer place to be? I'm sure you would, right? Of course you would. That might be coming soon. I don't know, it's getting towards spring, isn't it? Maybe we'll do a spring clean, but we're done. We're definitely done. But we're leaving it there. Obviously the car needs a little bit of work still. This one does as well. So does that one. That one needs a lot of work. That one needs some, they all need some work. This one is actually still a complete car. It hasn't moved since its last race in October, but it's still a complete car. But it's probably not going to be a complete car for much longer. I'm not 100% sure on the plans yet, so I'll maybe edit this out if I've changed since, but all last year this thing kind of lived off of DC2 parts, right? And of course a lot of other things, but we're going to reverse that. I think we're going to reverse that, right? And maybe have some different plans for this, but we'll see. Anyway, what a team the E61 and the EG were last year. And now the E61 got a little bit of life back in it, yeah. Got a little bit of life back in it. So I've probably spent at least 6 full days since starting this, going through it. And now it's drivable again, and still it wants some work, and of course the rust is only going to get worse, and if we get another couple of years out of it, I think we'll be having a good time. Yeah, another couple of years. So I'll do that drop link. I don't know how these videos are going to do. I've got a strong suspicion that these videos. What the hell? I need a haircut. I have a strong suspicion I need a haircut for sure. But I've got a strong suspicion these videos might not do so well. Maybe with a core audience who just like me talking daft to a camera, which is great because, you know, it's become my main, it's become a bit of an occupation, you could say, lately. I do enjoy doing it. But working on the 5 Series, I expected this to be one video. I expected it to just fit those front control arms and we'd be done. But no, we've had all new front arms, new shockers, new front and rear shockers, rear bushes. You know, in reality, we've not done that much work, really. We've done new brake lines. We've tried to make some rust not completely kill the car. The problem's been every time something went wrong, then, you know, I was having to wait until the next weekend, really, to do anything with it. That's why it's taken so long. And as good as the Mini's been as like an interim, someone said to me at the gym the other day, "Is that your car, Dan? Mini Cooper?" I was like, I mean, I'm not one to be fussy about stuff like that. That's why I drive something like this, you know. I'm not really fussed what people think of me. But I do miss the 5 Series. It's very me, this car. It certainly is now. We're into the 5th year. I've owned it 4 years now, so we're now into the 5th year of ownership with this car. We'll hit 200k shortly. And yeah, I'm sure it'll be here for a good bit longer yet. But that's all from now. We can finally do some other stuff. I really want to get that black M3 back together, but I need to buy some. I think I'm going to buy some drive shafts and a diff, and just throw it back together. Maybe. I don't think I'll make any videos, but I do want to get started on this. But the next actual project we should really resume is the MR2. We need to try and get that road legal for some rallying. So that'll be fun. So that's probably what you'll see me doing next. Hopefully this makes it through. We'll drop some drop links on it at some point. But thanks for watching. That's been a nice little trilogy there. We looked at everything that was broken. We started fixing the front end, and then we finished it off in this one. So thanks for making it to the end. I'm feeling like a rest now. So see you later. All right, we're a couple of months on. It's actually March now, which is about the time of you watching this anyway, right? But all that work was done in January, and I'm at the MOT centre, and guess what? Guess what's happened? World first. Sorry, I forgot in the heat of the moment to show you what the thing was, but it is a clean MOT certificate, not one single advisory. Yay, that has never happened before. Nice.